Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on another session of our Ohio Association for College Admission Counselor Virtual College Exploration Weeks. And tonight we have Lorain County Community College with us, and both Carlos and Nadia are here to help you learn all about Lorain and how to apply and all the things you need to be doing to finish an application to Lorain. Students, I just want to remind you that you have only one way to ask questions, and you have a Q&A button to do that. You type your question and Carlos and Nadia will be able to respond to you. And if for any reason you are not able to remember everything that was shared with you this evening, the session is recorded for you. And the way that you signed up for this session on our website, www.oacac.org, is available to see the recording. You can also sign up for more sessions that will be coming in approximately, I believe, a month. But you have a wonderful senior year, and I'm going to let Carlos and Nadia take it away. Enjoy, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. As was mentioned, I am Carlos Delgado. I am the College and Career Program Specialist, specifically for Flex Factor here at Lorain. I have been with the college a whopping 7 months, but prior to that time, I worked in admission for almost 11 years, and 3 years prior to that at another community college in Florida. So really excited to be with all of you, and I'd love to hear any questions. And I'm also joined by Nadia. If Nadia, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Nadia Leary. I'm the manager of recruitment at my university in College Credit Plus. So glad that you're able to join us this evening, and we hope we have some great information for you. And as Carlos mentioned, please ask away. Ask your questions in the chat. We are more than happy to expand on anything and answer whatever questions you might have. So I think I'm letting Carlos drive this train here. Oh, you're muted, Carlos.
There we go. Now that we got that out the way. Here we go. If you were to come to LCCC, we have something known as an up close, which is a virtual presentation that allows you to get to know a little bit more about the college. As we go through, you'll really essentially get a sense for what type of programs are offered at the college. I think will surprise you by how in-depth we offer courses throughout. Support services, hit your admission questions, as well as financial aid. But I want to go ahead and start off with a video for all of you, and I hope it works out well. Yeah, we were trying to find ways and how do we highlight campus without actually physically being on campus, and we felt that that video was a great way to go ahead and get a sense for what happens on Illyria's campus. Right away, would like to see if we could get some audience participation if you have a cell phone with you. This is going to be very odd. I'm going to ask you to actually use it, or if you're on a computer, please go ahead and do so as well, and visit slido.com and enter the event code 74683. The first question that I'm going to ask you is, how long do you have to attend LCCC to receive a degree? Your options are A, 1 year, B, 6 months, C, 2 years, D, 4 years, or E, 6 years. I say all of that while I'm seeing some respondents mentioning 2 years, and that looks like it's kind of the winner at the moment. And getting a lot of 2 years. It's actually kind of a loaded question in that the true answer is it could take any amount of duration. You could come to Lorain for a 3-month certificate to advance yourself in your current career, all the way through a 6-year degree. And I'm not talking about a 6-year degree to complete a 2-year program. I'm talking about you can receive as far as a master's degree, all while at Lorain County Community College, which is something that was shocking and surprising to me as I started, and really truly remarkable that you're able to find that ability so close to home, especially if you live in Lorain County. A great variety of certificates. I meet with students, many students who want to get involved in healthcare, especially after COVID. There's a lot of students who are very brave and want to go in and get involved in the fight against COVID-19. And they really don't know where to go ahead and start. So we offer certificate programs that give us a semester or a year, and we could go ahead and get you started in healthcare. All the way through, you could go ahead and get started with an associate's degree. Associate's degree in general, about 2 years in length. These are degrees, some are terminal. So if you're interested in nursing and becoming an RN, that is a 2-year degree that at the end of that degree, you are able to go ahead and go into the workforce with your registered nursing credential. Same with dental hygiene. Or there's others, students who are starting at the associate degree level, have every intention of continuing on and pursuing a 4-year degree. That's a great option to go ahead and start off with receiving the first 2 years of your degree at the associate's degree level. Normally, and I think most individuals are used to bachelor's degree being offered at some wonderful, whether that's in Ohio, public institutions, or other private schools as well. There's actually quite a few bachelor's degrees, and I might be giving up some subsequent answers to other questions up here. There's quite a few bachelor's degrees that you can offer, that are offered on LC's campus, all the way through a master's degree as well. So we have something for everyone when it comes to degrees that are being offered. A question that is received quite often that I run into all the time is, where can you transfer your courses? So courses at LCC, if you're going back to Slido, courses at LCC, where can you transfer those to? So if you go to slido.com once again and go to the code 74683, your options are Ohio public schools, Ohio private schools, any public school, any private school, or the last, which is courses do not courses do not transfer. Getting quite a few Ohio publics. And this is another one where I like to stay positive. The answer really is all of the above except E. So courses absolutely do transfer. There is a perception that once you start off at a community college, those courses can only stay in a select area. This is not the case. We actually have degrees that are built specifically to transfer. And those are typically known as your AA degree, your Associate of Arts degree, or your Associate of Science degree. This is where you're getting the first 2 years of your bachelor's degree, very affordable prices. And there are transfer modules in the state that guarantee that these courses are able to go ahead and transfer to any of the Ohio publics. Having come from a private school background myself, I can also tell you that a great deal of the courses are transferring to private schools as well. You just have to ask your individual admission counselor to make sure not only can they transfer, but make sure you're taking the right ones that will transfer. And you can still take a number of electives to go ahead and make sure that you are taking courses that you're interested in while also pursuing your degree. So absolutely courses can transfer. For some of you who may be interested in pursuing higher ed, and as someone just recently told me, I want to go to school, but I don't want to go to school for the rest of my life. Totally understand. There's over 110 options where you could come to the college for a year or less and still pursue areas in healthcare and nursing. So STNA or LPN are areas that you could look into there. The culinary arts, we have a wonderful kitchen on campus. Actually, my office is located not too far from there. Students pretty much run and cook out of the kitchen, and that's the best way to go ahead and get used to culinary is getting in the kitchen. Number of areas in business, engineering, computer and information systems, and so much more. So tons of options. If you just want to spend some time and jump into the workforce, we have those options for you as well. And the final audience participation question that I have for all of you is how many bachelor and master degree options can you earn at LCC? For the last time, if you to jump over to slido.com and enter the event code, let's see if I can bring up. For the number of bachelor and master's degree offered at LC, we have 1, 7, 17, 30, and 60. And currently 60 is leading the votes. And that's actually where we're at. It's over 60 options, and that's because of this opportunity here, which is called the University Partnership. The University Partnership allows Lorain County Community College to go above and beyond those 2-year degrees, the 2-year degrees that most people associate with a community college, and allows individuals to go ahead, stay close, stay in the area, and pursue that 4-year degree and ultimately a bachelor's degree as well. The collage that you see in front of you for the colleges, these are the institutions where you could go ahead and pursue your bachelor's degree. A couple of items to make note of. This is a full-fledged degree offered through one of these institutions. So a education degree through Ashland University is a full-fledged Ashland degree. There's nothing that designates your degree any different than someone who attended Ashland all 4 years. So continuing on through the University Partnership, if you stay with us from step 1, you will be able to receive your associate's degree and then transfer on to the University Partnership into one of these areas. And it's quite vast as far as what we have to offer. So we offer courses in information technology and computer science through the University of Toledo. Anybody interested in foreign languages can pursue a degree through the Ohio State University. If you're interested in those advanced degrees in nursing, Youngstown State and Western Governor University can assist you with some of those as well. A biology degree from Bowling Green State University. So many different options. Youngstown State, if you're thinking about being a licensed social worker, this is one where you could go all the way through, get your LSW completely on our campus in Elyria and get your LSW at Youngstown State. So very surprising. You could stay with us for a semester or continue on until you are an LSW. I mentioned some of these already. These, you could earn your bachelor's degree and master's very easily. You transition from the LC degree to one of those partner institutions. Normally, if COVID wasn't happening, I'd mention that you could take courses on campus. We take your safety to the highest regard. Many of our courses are being offered remote, but as soon as we're able to go ahead and expand those, we'll be back in the classroom as normal. You receive your degree from that partner institution. Classes are taught in person, and some have distance learning options. So it's similar to the Zoom call, with the exception that you're in a classroom with this type of technology and the professor is somewhere else. So if you're taking a chemistry course through the University of Cincinnati, you would walk in to a lecture type hall. You'll see the professor. It's all taught live. If you have a question, you hit this button down, the camera zooms in, you communicate that way. And as I mentioned earlier, a great deal of variety of majors and disciplines, and you save a lot of money. You can receive that master's degree for as little as bachelor's degree for as little as $33,000, where on average a 4-year degree would cost you more than $100,000. So huge savings when it comes to continuing on this arena. And I'm going to transition now for Nadia to begin discussion on some of the support service items.
Great, thanks, Carlos. So Carlos did a great job talking about our academic options and the different types of certificates and degrees that you can earn. We want to be sure that you do well in your studies, but we also want to be sure that you're prepared for the world of work. And so our Career Services Office is really active throughout your time at LCCC. We want students to get involved by either having an internship, which are usually unpaid experiences with companies, or service learning, where you're actually doing volunteer work as part of your course, or taking part in a co-opportunity where students are actually earning college credit and employed at a company at the same time. So the best example at LCCC is with our partnership with the University of Toledo and the Computer Science and Engineering program. As part of that program, students actually complete 3 co-ops for their degree, and they work full-time at companies such as NASA or Bendix. And oftentimes the students do so well during their co-op experience that they're hired on by the company after their co-op and after they've graduated with their degree. So it's a great opportunity for students to get that work experience, to figure out if you like this area, if you like the job, and make sure that you're on the right track in terms of the major and the program that you're in. Let's go to the next slide. We really want to be sure that you are successful at Lorain County Community College, and we do that through a number of different offices and services on campus, including academic advising. Every student is assigned their own academic advisor who will help you pick your courses, make sure you're on track for your major. If you're transferring to another institution, looking at those courses that will transfer back and forth. Again, I mentioned career services before, financial services, helping you with your FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, as well as free tutoring services. So all LCCC students have access to 2 free hours of scheduled tutoring per week. And then there are also additional hours available. And even now, where we're mostly virtual with our courses, we still have those tutoring appointments and tutoring services available for free for our students. So we really want to be sure, again, that our students are very successful, and we work very hard to make sure that those needs are met. part of our ARC, our Advocacy and Resource Center, has a Commodore cupboard, which helps students with food insecurity. We do drives for clothing. We have a lot of different resources available for students, no matter what your need might be. Next slide, please. So in terms of academic excellence, sometimes students think of community colleges as, well, sure, they're communities, so we're local, we have mostly local students, but we do have many international students that come to LCCC for that experience in the United States and choose to come to LCCC because of our programs. And we do offer study abroad opportunities, although those are tabled for now, again, because of the pandemic. But we are hopeful that those will be active in the future. But we have students that have traveled to the countries that you see there. So they're study abroad where you're immersed in the culture and language, or perhaps taking a course from an LCCC instructor abroad. So those opportunities are there for you, whether you're looking to interact with students that are different than you, or whether you'd like to go abroad to a different country. Next slide. LCCC has a number of different locations for students to take courses. Again, at the moment, because of our regard for safety, we are mostly online, but we do have a number of different learning centers. So our main campus is in Elyria, but we have 2 learning centers in the city of Lorain, as well as a learning center in North Ridgeville and Wellington. And all of those offices offer our support services to you in terms of advising and financial aid, and different courses that are offered there. So if you find that you live in a further edge of the county, or you're, east or west, we have those locations that offer our courses and then also our support services as well. Next slide. So we talked a lot about our academics and working and all that hard stuff, but we are a place that has a lot of opportunity for social life. We want you to have fun too. So LCCC has over 30 different clubs and organizations. We have a very active theater production, orchestra, concert band, choir that students can participate in. We have performing artist series where we bring different acts to campus to perform for students and faculty, staff, and community. Our on-campus art gallery always has amazing installations, sometimes from national artists and other times from local students and our own students and faculty. Our athletic and fitness center is open to all students that are enrolled at least 1 credit hour and are at least 13 years old, but it's a really super space, and it's actually open now with lots of great equipment. We just upgraded in the last few years. We do have an indoor track, and then of course we do have our gymnasium where students can take physical education courses as well. Next slide. So speaking of athletics, Lorain County Community College is a member of the National Junior College Athletic Association. So we are a Division III school, which means we're not able to offer athletic scholarships. We're a member of the Ohio Community College Athletic Conference. So we play other community colleges in the state of Ohio, as well as other JV teams from other institutions that are around. Some of these have been postponed, some of the sports, I think, again, due to the pandemic, but I just saw that our cross-country team was traveling and competing. They did very well last fall. Our women's volleyball team placed in the top, I believe they were 4th in nationals a few years ago. And we also do have club sports as well for students that don't want to participate on the varsity level, but still would like to be athletic. So these are the women's sports. And then the next slide shows you the men's sports, which again include that cross country, baseball, basketball. So we're hopeful that things, and especially with outdoor weather, hopefully being nicer in the spring, we'll be able to offer that full experience of athletics for our students again. So getting started, how do you get started to apply at Lorain County Community College? Our application is free and it's online, so you're able to hop online. We do ask that you have some information, obviously your personal data that you're going to be putting in there. We are what's called an open admission university. So we are not looking for a specific GPA or test scores for admission. There is not a minimum to be admitted to Lorain County Community College. So once you fill out that application, you submit your final high school transcript. Once you graduate, you're admitted to the college and can enroll in classes. What we do ask that students do is we look at your ACT or SAT scores, or if you don't have those, we have a placement test that is free that you will take. And that's to show us how you're going to place into courses. So some of you coming from high school are going to be ready to take calculus as a freshman with us. That's super. Lots of students are not ready to take calculus, and that's absolutely fine too. So our ALEX exam will test to see where you're at in your math career. Our AccuPlacer and your grades in your English class let us know if you're ready for that college level English class. We want to be sure that now that you're starting college that the courses are not too easy and they're not too hard for you. And so that is the only reason that we are looking for those scores. They're not for admission purposes, but to make sure that you're placed correctly in our classes. Next slide. So paying for college, and Carlos talked about the affordability of the university partnership and our programs there. LCCC has one of the lowest tuition rates in the state. And so even though we are affordable, we still have many ways that we help students to pay for their courses. And those include grants, loans, scholarships, work study. Many of these items come from you filling out your FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. And you would fill that out your senior year. And actually, I believe today is the first day that you can start submitting your FAFSA for next year. And you can do that online through the government site, or you can work with an LCCC financial aid advisor to help you file that FAFSA. You don't have to be an LCCC student or coming to LCCC for that assistance. We will help walk you through that process if you do need some extra help. But we have a really generous scholarship program for students, particularly for students who live in Lorain County or are graduating from a Lorain County high school. And then we do have other opportunities for students too that don't live in the county, mostly based on a specific major. So our Choose Ohio First Scholarship has a lot of great opportunities for students that are looking in the science, technology, engineering, math areas. And then our university partnership programs also offer scholarships too, especially our computer science and engineering program with Toledo, which is actually a full scholarship for all 5 years of that program. So we really want to make sure that students are able to attend LCCC, even though we are affordable, but there is help out there and ways that we can help you get that money. Next slide. All right, and I do see a question in the chat. I know we kind of talked at you. I see, here we go, an out of county question. So here, a question regarding that county of residence. So because LCCC is a tax supported institution, we do have different tuition rates for students that live in a different county than Lorain County. So there would be a different fee structure, and that's on our website. But again, depending on your major, there would be scholarship opportunities that you could apply for.
And I remember just because I had done some of these up close presentations over the summertime, and that question was asked. The difference between in county and out of county is not very, very extreme from one county to the other. It may be $20 to $30 more per credit hour, but it's still very, very affordable as far as those as far as that is concerned.
And I will say too, LCCC has what we call blanket tuition, which means that we have a per credit hour rate up to 12 credit hours. But if you enroll in 13 credit hours, up to 18 credit hours, it's the same price. So if you enroll in 13 hours and you want to take an additional 5, go ahead, throw it in there. It's going to be the same cost. And so you're really able to save money that way and earn all those extra credits for the exact same amount. It's a great question.
Yeah, I would say the one piece being that it is October 1st that I always mention, just because it's occurred to a couple people that I was aware of. Be aware that the FAFSA, you're probably going to hear it quite a bit, actually stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So if you land yourself on a website that's asking you to pay money to complete it, you're at the wrong site. It's actually a government site. It's fafsa.gov. If you go to fafsa.com, you will actually land on a page where you can pay to complete something that is by definition free, to go ahead and do so. So be aware of that policy. Unfortunately, there's still individuals out there who are trying to take some money, but it's a 100% free option to go ahead and complete the FAFSA.
That's another good point too. If you're looking to search for scholarships, some scholarship services charge a fee, but they guarantee you a scholarship. But the guaranteed scholarship, what they don't tell you, might be for $1 or $5. And so there are a lot of free scholarship search services out there that you can do on your own that do not cost any money at all. So I would never recommend paying for a scholarship search service for you. Does anyone have a specific major that you would like us to talk about, or a certain area that you think you're interested in that we could share more info for you? Looks like we have another question again about on the FAFSA.
I am.
You
So
see that, Carlos?
Yeah, I was on the FAFSA site earlier. I'm an independent student who told me it may be beneficial to fill out information on my parents if I was trying to become a lawyer or go into medical school. So dependency status is a bit unique when it comes to the FAFSA. So in my former role, I did a lot of financial aid. So the general default when it comes to FAFSA, especially if you are just getting ready to graduate from high school, is that for the FAFSA, you are a dependent until the age of 24, unless there is a life circumstance that circumvents that. The life circumstances are you're married, you have a child, both of your parents are deceased. Those are the top three that are, there's 2 or 3 others that are on there. But in the FAFSA's purposes, if you're under 24 and don't qualify under those other areas, you will be considered a dependent and will have to use your parents' income for FAFSA purposes. There is an option now. I've met with families that the parents refuse to give their students information. You can complete the FAFSA without their information, but essentially you would open yourself up for a particular area of direct loans, and you wouldn't be able to go ahead and move forward with the others. So when it comes to the FAFSA, you would have to go ahead and file dependency status.
And that's something too, you could always work with one of our financial aid counselors, and they've certainly seen circumstances and would be able to advise you better. I know about this much about financial aid, and that's kind of all that I want to know about financial aid, and they know like this much. So they would be able to help you with that specifically too.
Yeah, it changes quite often throughout the process, even year to year. I always have to go ahead and update myself in those areas. But great question for sure. Is there any other thoughts, questions, comments? If that's the case, then
Yeah, we can release you to your baseball last night, since the Indians have knocked us out of the playoff. Well, the Yankees. Oh, sorry if you're a Yankees fan out there.
all teams, I'm telling you.
At least we're having baseball.
This is true. I hate to complain about that. Yeah.
Hey, and the Browns are actually what? 3-0? Is that correct?
2-1.
2-1. Hey, that's a
Right.
better start than normal. Well,
Better than 0-3.
Carlos and Nadia, thank you so much for helping us learn so much about Lorain County Community College. And I think it's phenomenal that you are one of, I think, very few institutions for community colleges in this country who offer so many university partnerships on your campus. That's pretty unique, at least in the state of Ohio. So students are extremely fortunate to work with you. So I hope that this was a great session and folks learned a lot. For those of you who are still in high school, enjoy your senior year as much as you possibly can. And for those of you who are older and adult students, we still appreciate you joining us at the Ohio Association for College Admission Counselors. It's been a virtual college exploration season. There are more sessions which will be coming up in a few weeks. If for any reason you need to return to things that, topics that Carlos and Nadia discussed tonight, please know that on our website, www.oacac.org, you can find all kinds of information. And we really request that since there's a very quick 4-question survey when you close your screen, please take that survey for us. Thank you, everyone, and stay well.
Mm-hmm.